Week 1 is in the books, and there's definitely one thing that transferred over from the WNBA to the 3v3 Unrivaled League: questionable refereeing. Hello, folks, and welcome to Dummy Run Sports. I am your host, Brody Hessen, and today I want to go through and rank each team after seeing just one game. I want to go through each team and mention some of the positives and negatives that stood out to me in Week 1, and then rank them bottom to top. Starting with number 8, I have the Hive BC. The Hive BC overall didn't feel like a team yet. This is a team where I don't think any player had ever played with one another, except maybe in an all-star game, so it's understandable that conformity was missing in Week 1. Not only that, but I do think that most of the players themselves had bad games. The team shot 35% overall, 13% for threes, and when shooting isn't good from a team full of shooters, it's going to be tough to win games. Kelsey Mitchell, who should be one of the leaders on the team, just didn't look her best. Also, Citron was 3 for 12, 0 for 3 for threes, and had 4 personal fouls. And to me, that says that the game was moving too fast for her in Week 1. And I think that she is a phenomenal player, and I don't expect this to be an issue for her long term. I think she just needs to adjust to the heightened pace and speed of 3v3. Being Week 1, I don't want to be too dramatic or critical of this team or any of the teams, but seeing that this team's biggest issue is just that they need to spend more time playing together, it gives me hope. Also, it doesn't help that the Hive was playing the Mist, a team that looked like one of the most congealed, unified rosters this week. But I have to put a team at number 8, and this week, it's the Hive. So we'll see if they can get things figured out this week in practice. Number 7, I have the Lunar Owls. And to be fair, the Lunar Owls, they were dealt an early blow with injuries. Nafisa Collier will be out for the season with injury, and she will be placed long-term with Temi Fagbenle. Also, the Owls were down a player because of Skylar Diggins being out. Skylar should return soon, however, these two powerhouses were very much missed in this game. Luckily, 2 players in particular stepped up their game. Aaliyah Edwards was very impressive, scoring 23 points, going 10 for 19 with 12 rebounds. That is a very impressive stat line for anyone, let alone a youngster tasked with stepping into the shoes of a leader like Nafisa Collier. The other player who got herself into the game was Marina Mayberry. Now, Marina is an edgy player, and she will do whatever she needs to get herself into the game. And she did that by elbowing Shug Sutton in the throat and then giving her a shove in the back just for good measure. She's going to do what she needs to do. It's the ref's job to officiate that and make sure no one gets hurt and not reward that behavior with free throws. However, I'm glad she got herself into the game because her team needed her, and she was pretty much unstoppable once she got hot. Overall, the minutes and rotations for this team were not even. But having Marina play 23 minutes and Edwards play 19 is not a sustainable formula for this team. Skylar being available will help out immensely, but other players need to step up. Beck Allen had 6 points in 14 minutes as a starter. Marina Mayberry took 26 shots in the game. The entire rest of the team took 28, 19 of which were from Edwards. It's not just that others were not making baskets, it's that the other players just weren't taking shots. Again, I think Diggins coming back into the lineup changes everything for this team, but for right now, I have them down near the bottom at number 7. Then at number 6, I have the Phantom. The Phantom had a tough night, even though they were in this game, and that is what makes this one so disappointing for me. To be fair, they were shorthanded like the Lunar Owls with injuries. Satu Sabli will not be playing for this season due to injuries, and Dana Evans was also out. Tiffany Hayes will be the roster replacement for Satu, and I like Tiff. She is a great player and she is super fun to watch. However, losing Satu is huge. Hayes brings a lot to the table, but she doesn't bring what Satu did. The loss of Satu's size alone is massive on both offense and defense. With Sabli, this team was right in the middle in terms of overall height. Now, with her out and Hayes in, the Phantom are the shortest team in the league by a lot. And when defending against the best of the best, like Paige Bueckers, there is a gigantic difference in one-on-one shot blocking ability of Satu Sabli and Kelsey Plum. Speaking of defense, This was a glaring issue for the team, and I was surprised that adjustments were not made throughout the game. Kelsey Plum, who I love, was a weak spot on defense. Normally, she is a good defender for a point guard, but in 5-on-5, it was clear that she is used to weak side help, which in this game, there is none. Granted, she was paired against Paige, who even an elite defender would struggle against. However, Rakia and Kate Martin continuously got around Plum and gained position on her, forcing her to foul or give up the easy layup. This is something that I know Kelsey will respond to because it is a matter of fundamentals, making sure she is in the right spot, keeping her hips square to her player, and keeping her footwork quick so that she doesn't give up positioning on defense. This is where being down players really hurt them, because I don't know if the coaching staff just didn't have answers or if they didn't have players to make adjustments. Not only were players out, but the Phantom suffered from what the other bottom teams suffered from as well. Not everyone showing up. Ballers like Natasha Cloud and Kiki Iriefin had bad games. Cloud shot 2 for 3, but only had 6 points in 17 minutes. Kiki Iriefin was the other youngster who really looked like the game was too fast for her in week 1. She was 1 for 10 and only played 10 minutes, which really limited the rotations. Again, I think it is a bummer that Satu can't go. Tiffany Hayes was really great with 20 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, steals, and blocks. But I think that the defensive game scheme failed this team. So I hope that after a week of practice, adjusting to the pace of play and solidifying fundamentals, this team will be resilient and ready to go. But until then, they are number 6. Finally, in my bottom 4, the best of the worst, the Vinyl. Another tough loss game because the Vinyl had this game in the first half. They just couldn't adjust to the unstoppable force named Brittany Sykes. Sykes got hot and nobody could stop her. Not only could they not get stops, but they could not score on the other end. In the third quarter alone, the Vinyl were outscored 19-7. Overall, they shot 35% and only 20% for threes. I think broadly their two-man game down low dried up. Hamby only had 8 points in this game, and she is capable of scoring 20 in the paint easily. But also Ryan Howard had a very poor night, shooting 3 for 15 and played 17 minutes. Others did step up, like Erica Wheeler, who had a great night, scoring 12 points with 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals. Overall, I know it's week 1, players are still filling things out, but I still think this team is a playoff-bound team if everyone plays at the level that they are capable of. It was a tough way to start the year, but it's better to lose like this now than in the playoffs, which is why they're at number 5. And now we get into the winning teams. Laces, I have you here because if it wasn't for Brittany Sykes, you don't win this game. 19 points, 7 rebounds, 13 minutes played. Incredible. She literally just said, I don't want to lose this game, and turned the game around in the third. Jackie Young had a great game as well. 15 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, steal, and a block. She had the game you'd expect a player like her to have on the first game of the year. Ready to go with room to improve. I will say I thought I might see more from Alyssa Thomas. She still had a stat line that any of the bottom 4 teams would have been envious of. 6 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block. But I know she'll be wanting more out of herself next week. Something that I find interesting is that 3 of my top 4 teams kept the minutes and rotations fairly even. And the Laces are no exception. Very even minutes. I don't know if that was a week 1 strategy of giving all the players equal time to see what they could do at game pace, but it did seem to work, and it allowed the hot hand of Jackie Young and Brittany Sykes to develop and take over the game. Moving on to number 3, you got the young and the restless, the Breeze BC. The youngest team in the league by far walked away with a win thanks to Paige Bueckers. 24 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. As I discussed before, the Breeze took full advantage of the mismatches on defense from the Phantom. Dom Malonga was dominant with 17 points and 14 rebounds. This is the one team that won this week but didn't have even minutes in the rotation. Their starters all played close to 20 minutes, and the bench players all under 7 minutes. As good as Paige Bueckers is, in this high-intensity format, I don't know if it's sustainable. But it might have to be because I do think that fouls are going to be a big narrative for this club. Breeze, I think you are young and restless, and it is going to be a fun, crazy year for you. You are at number 3. Number 2. Oof, this is the fun part. 2 really good teams who played like complete teams. So for number 2, I have the Mist. Mist, for the first game of the new year, you delivered. It was a very balanced performance, a true team win. I'm glad Alicia Gray got the start. She had a team-leading 21 points. She shot 50% and had 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Another nice surprise was to see Veronica Burton getting the start and having an impressive game with 14 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. I bring up these 2 players specifically because studs like Stewie and Enrique did not have bad nights. Everyone on this roster had good to great games, but to have players like Gray and Burton build confidence early and develop as a team together is a really promising sign for this team. I have no notes. I look forward to week 2. And that means for number 1, the Rose Basketball Club is the top of the table. This was tough between the Mist and the Rose. However, it comes down to one reason: Chelsea Gray. Chelsea Gray gave us the performance we all wanted. It does not look like 2 months have passed since she won the WNBA championship. She shot 14 for 20, 5 for 10 for threes for a total of 35 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals. Unbelievable. Unrivaled, truly. And I know I just gushed about how balanced the Mist were, and I believe a balanced team is a winning formula in this format. However, everyone on the Rose had a good to great night in their own sense, plus Chelsea Gray was otherworldly, plus the Rose played a player down. I was specifically interested in how Azurá Stevens and Shakira Austin would play when I heard Kalia was out. Not surprisingly, both had superb starts to the season. Azurá only played 11 minutes, but she scored 19 points, shooting 7 for 18, 2 for 2 for threes, and had 10 rebounds. Shakira Austin, on the other hand, had 12 points and made all 3 of her free throws while netting 6 rebounds and a steal and a block. I think that this team is going to be a real force because on any given day, if Chelsea Gray has half the game she had on opening day, I think that they still beat most teams with the level of teamwork and resiliency that they displayed. Okay, so that's it. To recap, Hive at number 8, then 7, the Lunar Owls. Phantom is at number 6, 5 is the Final. Laces, you are at number 4, Breeze at number 3, number 2 is the Mist, and at number 1, the reigning champs, the Rose BC. If you liked today's episode, please like and subscribe. Let me know who stood out to you this past week and what you think teams can improve on moving forward. If you like insightful discussion and analysis of women's sports, this channel might be for you. Anyways, see ya.